Good morning, everyone. Let's talk about Robert and Meliza's story. What can I say about Robert and Meliza? Well, both are based on a hospital situation, guys. Robert was a neighbor of ours in Mabalacat, also known as Anglaise, and Robert ended up having to go into the hospital. Now, we're talking a guy here that is not overweight. He's not struggling with anything that anybody knew of. But here's his story. First, he distanced himself from the U.S. He stopped all things to do with the U.S., right? Like medical and all of that type of thing. Cut his ties completely. Now, this is going to come back to backfire on him, right? And on top of all of that, he didn't have a security question or something along those lines when it came to family. And so Robert ends up in the hospital in kind of an emergency situation, and the bills are starting to build up, and he's got no way to communicate with his family except through his friends. Now, initially the conversations were going okay until they got told how much the bill was to get Robert out of the hospital. Classic situation. Insignificant savings for dealing with a hospitalization. And so the family is thinking, this is just a scam. There's no way we're sending any money, yada, yada, yada. So Robert ends up in the hospital a lot longer because unless you can pay the bill, in many cases, you're not leaving, guys. Okay, so this is why you got to have a topped-up visa. You have to have some connection in your native country so that bill can get paid, etc., etc. The net result is he goes to his embassy, and guess what? Because this is another tale, guys. It's a whole other vlog. Your embassy is not there to save you. Your embassy there is to do business in that other country. Diplomatic relations and all of that sort of thing. They are not there for you. It was very clear when Robert went down to his embassy, managed to get to talk to somebody, explained his situation that he has to get back to the U.S., and is there anything that they can do to help? Well, they checked a few things, and they said, yeah, as soon as you clean up your debts, you can go. You can go. No problem at all. Remember, he cut all ties. So, scrambling around some more, but by this time he's able to talk to the family, and the family is starting to get to that point of, what do you mean you owe this much money? What do you mean you owe that much money? Overstay, right? So luckily for him, the penalty was only going to be a 3-year shot. It wasn't going to be all the way back because they had no way to know when he came in. That was his luck on this whole thing. Now, the Philippines obviously has upgraded their systems. They know when you arrived. Probably as of, 6-7 years ago, I would say, you could be assured that they know everybody that's come to the country, and if necessary, know everybody that's left. And so if you're on an overstay, you might want to consider that because they might start going through the database and checking all this stuff out. You never know. But anyway, he does finally get back to the U.S., but too late. Passed away, guys. Passed away. Meliza's story. Filipina, baby's in distress. And it took almost, 14 hours, a little over 14 hours to get a bed for her baby. Now, they were looking after her in the hall and all of that type of thing, but, we were able to help out. It was a public hospital, so that means the waits and all of that sort of thing. And fortunately, the bill at the end of the day was not all that bad. But Aiza, guys, you have to have savings in the Philippines. You do. And you can do it easily if you just track your currency rates, save above the threshold, you have extra money below the threshold. In the meantime, you're making savings. US dollar right now, just about, well, let's call it 54. you should be saving 4 pesos, right? Save it. Save it, save it, save it. Can't say it hard enough and strong enough. Later, Gators.